Ricky Henderson leading it off. Then Carney Lansford, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire. Dave Henderson is the DH in this game with Felix Jose playing center field. Jamie Quirk will catch this ball game. Walt Weiss at shortstop and Mike Gallego at second base.
There's the defense for the Cleveland Indians, and you pick them out. It will be Joel Skinner behind the plate. Sandy Alomar Jr. catching the first ball game. Valdez is the pitcher. At first base is Brooke Jacoby. And we're going to see the rest of it. Stanley Jefferson in left field. Mitch Webster in center field. Candy Maldonado moves over to right field. Carlos Baerga is the third baseman. Felix Verbeen at shortstop. Jerry Brown at second base. Brooke Jacoby at first base. Joel Skinner behind the plate. Sergio Valdez, as we talked before, is on the mound for the Cleveland Indians, and he is getting ready to throw a fork ball, which is one of his better pitches, the out pitch for him. Skinner behind the plate, a good arm, but Sandy Alomar is the one who has been catching. Of course, he was voted by the fans to be the starting catcher for the American League All-Star team, with the game taking place next Tuesday at Wrigley Field. For the Athletics, Mark McGuire starting at first base in that ball game, as is Jose Canseco and Ricky Henderson in the outfield, and a couple other pitchers named to the All-Star team as of yesterday by Tony La Russa, who is the manager, Bob Welsh, and Dennis Eckersley.
So we're waiting on Ricky Henderson to come out. Ricky had a couple of base hits in the first ball game today. By far the fastest ball game played, but when you're not doing anything, it doesn't take any time to do it. And neither pitcher was walking anybody.
A lot of first pitch hitting wasn't in the ball game, and when you get down 6-0, sometimes you do start going up to swing at the first pitch, but a lot of pop-ups resulted, pop-ups to the outfield resulted by swinging at the first pitch.
Well, here's the first pitch of the second game of the doubleheader, and it's in there for a call strike, so we are underway. One of the biggest crowds of the year for the Cleveland Indians on a regular night. They had over 68,000 for a ball game here this year on a giveaway night. The tickets were given away by a petroleum company in this area, but they've got a great crowd here tonight. Ricky jerks one up into that crowd. Strike two. The averages will be flashing on the screen for this ball game will reflect what the players did in the first game and right up to date. As we mentioned, Ricky had a couple of hits in that first game. He had been the one offensive performer the A's have had over the last week and a half on this road trip who has been consistent. I mean, he has been hitting the ball and batting at .333. But nobody else has been hitting it consistently. The breaking ball didn't miss by much. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ricky. They're going to have to hurry. All right, came up real big for Fermin. What a break they got right there. The ball's on the ground. He never would have gotten him, but it came up for him, and he was able to just plant and throw.
Ricky out in front of a ball, thought he might have hit the ball in the hole into left field. But hitting the lip as it did bounced right up to Vermin, and he's able to make the play easily.
Brings on Carney Lansford to the A's.
The play by hit by Ricky, or the ground ball. See, it hit the lip right before it hit the dirt part of the infield, and Vermin with a good arm gets him easily.
Still got some first ball hitting, and there are 2 down. Lansford had 2 hits in the first ball game, with 2 for 3. Jose Canseco went 0 for 4 in the first game. He came into the game tonight having only 1 hit in his last 27 at bats. So he has had 1 hit in his last 31 trips to the plate. His batting average has taken a plummeting from way over .320 down to .288.
First 3 at bats in the first game, everything going to the first baseman. A ground ball and a couple of pop-ups, 1 foul.
Finally got on that one. So Jose Canseco is on with a 2-out single. That's the first ball he's hit hard in a while, except foul.
You know, he did something there. He didn't try to pull the ball. He just took the pitch on outside part of the plate, hit it right up the middle. And in the first game, they were giving him all the right side. As Brown was playing very close to second base. He had the big hole between first and second, but had pulling on his mind, even though he was behind the pitches and hitting them to the first baseman.
Mark McGwire 0 for 3 in the first game, but he did knock in our only run with a sacrifice fly ball. It's a strike. Really a strange game. 8 innings of no runs for the Indians, and they got 6 runs in 1 inning. Off Sanderson, there's one. It's gone. If it's fair, the A's have got 2. It's a fair ball, and the A's have 2. Mark McGwire hit one right down the line. It just barely missed the foul pole, and it missed it on the A's side. Home run number 21 for the American League All-Star first baseman. Boy, did he hit that one.
Did not take long to get out of here, and okay, it's so tough sometimes to make the call down the left field line, but maybe the good crowd here and the good background for Larry Barnett, he was able to pick the ball up easily. But what a swing. Hard, open up, and there's an example right there. You don't have to worry about the pitches inside. You're going to automatically open up. I don't know how far inside the pitch got. There it is right there, inside half of the plate. There it is, going around the foul pole up into the loge boxes here at Municipal Stadium.
And with 2 out, here's Dave Henderson, and you could see that maybe even Jose Canseco had talked with somebody in the first or between first and second games about not pulling the ball and pulling off everything and just going like he was doing when he's hitting .330. And he got the inning started, or kept it going, and that allowed Mark McGwire to come up and bat, and he's been driving in most of the runs for the A's on this trip. Dave Henderson takes the ball. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kind of an off-speed pitch down low for a ball. It's 2-2. First doubleheader of 1990 for the A's, but they have 2 more scheduled coming up before too long. 1 at home and 1 in Minnesota. Hindu throws his bat at the ball, and the ball goes foul in the upper deck. In 6 of Mike Moore's 7 losses, the A's scored a total of 7 runs. So that's 1 run a game. And as a matter of fact, twice they were shut out with him pitching. So already, Ray, he's got a cushion he hasn't had.
Well, he got a victory in his last start.
3-2, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. At the Sky Dome. Dennis Eckersley, the final 2 innings for his 25th save. Matter of fact, for Dennis Eckersley, he has pitched only 1 time in the last 10 days. It was last Monday at the Sky Dome, and the time before that, a week ago Tuesday. A week ago Tuesday at the Coliseum.
Well, that's usually bad news for the A's when he goes very long without pitching, because they don't really blow that many people out and have pitchers go the full route. Got him. Well, the A's retired here in the first inning, but they scored 2 runs, and it's 2-0 Oakland. Sent out for game 2. Jerry Brown, the second baseman, leads it off. Mitch Webster hit a homer in the first game, is batting second, playing center field. Carlo Baerga, third baseman, batting third. Candy Maldonado, the right fielder, is in the cleanup spot with Chris James, the designated hitter, for the second game in a row. Brooke Jacoby playing first base in this game. He was the third baseman in the first game. Felix Permin still at shortstop. Joel Skinner's the catcher, and Stan Jefferson is in left field.
Defensively behind Mike Moore, Ricky Henderson in left field, Felix Jose in center field, as Dave Henderson's the designated hitter for the second game. Jose Canseco in right, Lansford, Weiss, Gallego, McGwire from third to first. Jamie Quirk behind the plate, and right-hander Mike Moore on the mound. His record is 6-7. It's his first appearance in 1990 against the Cleveland Indians, and he had a 2-1 record in 1989 in 4 starts against the Indians. He allowed only 9 earned runs in 23 2/3 innings pitched. and a 3.42 earned run average last year. So Mike, I think for him, he has had some inconsistencies in the first half of the season, but I think for him, he won his last game Monday. He needs a win tonight to go 500 into the All-Star break, and that'd be a good stepping stone for the second half of the season for him. I think the A's would be very happy to have him be at 7-7. They would like more, obviously, but it'd be great going into the second half with a good confidence, a couple of wins under his belt in a row, and then finish strong in the second half.
Well, I think the A's are counting on him. So is Mike, as a matter of fact. Go ahead.
He is coming on just 3 days rest. He pitched Monday.
Jerry Brown 1 for 3 with an RBI in the first game tonight. First pitch of the fastball tailing away for 1 ball and no strikes. Terry Steinbach, the A's regular catcher, is still out with an injury, as a matter of fact, on the disabled list for 15 days. A rocket shot right at the second baseman, Mike Gallego, who digs it out on the short hop. 1 down. Mike played third base in the first game tonight with Willie Randolph at second. Webster hit a homer in that big second inning, a 6-run uprising against Scott Sanderson.
Speaking of Mike pitching on just 3 days rest, he threw 98 pitches in 7 innings last Monday at the Sky Dome, and that may have some bearing on how long Arusa has him go in tonight's ball game.
Well, it helped in one respect that Sanderson pitched a complete game in the first game here tonight, so nobody in the bullpen even got up. Webster pops that one up left side. That's Carney Lansford, and there are 2 down. Let's pause for station identification on the Oakland A's television network. We're at Cleveland, the big lakefront stadium. Over behind the stadium all afternoon, we've been hearing the buzzing of the big Indy type 500 cars. They've got a big race here. When is it? This weekend?
Yes, it is. Cleveland Grand Prix. Time trials and qualifications are going on today and tomorrow. Sunday at 11:30 Cleveland time will be the race.
They run that race on the runways of an airport right over behind the ballpark here.
Burke Lakefront.
No bank turns.
Doesn't make any difference. They still are flying by.
And they sound like they're flying. Mayorga batting .214. Fouled away. That's where Wally Miller gets his he was over there today wanting to take a turn around one of those things. Those guys wouldn't turn it over to him.
He doesn't have to get on a racetrack. He just does it on the streets. Streets of all American League cities. Except Chicago.
Walt Weiss gets this hop. And Mike Moore sails through the first inning, 1-2-3, and the A's lead it 2-0. 76 pin day. The A's will play the Milwaukee Brewers, and that afternoon the first 20,000 fans who come will receive a Unical 76 pin depicting the '73 World Championship. That's when the A's beat the New York Mets in 7 games. You can charge tickets by phoning any of the Bass numbers, so be sure you get those tickets in advance. Get to the ballpark early and walk away with one of those beautiful pins, another in the great series of Unical. Felix Jose, the A's center fielder in this ball game, takes low for a ball. From Sergio Valdez, he's won 2 games, lost 4 for the Indians, who are in 3rd place starting the doubleheader tonight in the Eastern Division. They have played very well under Johnny McNamara. Fouled off. Some of the local scribes, when Hank Peters hired Johnny McNamara during the winter to manage this ball club, were somewhat critical of the choice. But there's a guy who is one of the finest, most dedicated baseball men you're going to see anywhere, and he's had some good runs as managers of big league ball clubs, and he's managed quite a few of them too, both sides of the bay. Boston, San Diego. Strike call, good pitch.
I think he's done an exceptionally good job because he did not have the luxury of having the regular spring training. Shortened spring training, he had to get to learn the for an entire ball club in such a short time. The thing that helped him, he was advanced scout for the Seattle Mariners last year, so he was able to at least know a lot of the players just from following them throughout the American League. Some of the players coming over from the National League, however, in trades.
I saw Johnny quite a few times last year, and it was easy to tell that was not his bag. He likes being in uniform. Indians really play Jose to pull the ball in the infield. At least with their third baseman. He's playing where the shortstop plays a lot of times. Look at that. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff batter, second inning. The A's ahead 2-0 after losing the first game. High fly ball into center. Webster has it. When we got here today, the wind was really strong. It was coming in towards home plate from center field right now, except for the very high flag. That's the one up over the top of everything. The one down inside the stadium shows no movement whatsoever.
There were some balls in the first game that were held up in center field by the wind. It's not going to affect too much tonight, in the second game anyway.
I tell you, the temperature affects you as much as it's dropped from like a high of 74, 75 degrees here today. It's going to get down into the 50s before the game is over. Burke fouls it off, and that is somewhat of a change from what we saw over in Milwaukee.
Well, it was 98 here a couple of days ago, so it's dropped here tremendously. That cold front that was in Milwaukee coming through, and a very comfortable evening.
Ray and I had planned on wearing our regular golf shirts. It was going to be so hot here today. Now we're both sitting here in coats. Check swing roller toward third. Baerga got him.
Ball had not been hit as hard as it was. Jamie would have had a base hit as a check swing. Baerga shading him over towards shortstop, but because the ball got to Baerga quickly, he was able to make the throw on the run, and he has a strong arm. Good play.
Here's the A's shortstop, Walt Weiss, who went 0 for 3 in the first game, dropped under 280 for the first time in a long time. He's had a tough trip getting base hits on this road trip, as have a lot of the A's players. There's a breaking ball into him, missing for a ball. A trip this long gets to you in a lot of ways. Boy, it's amazing the A's have the road record they have, because most of the first half of the season the A's been on the road. 3 up, 3 down inning here in the second, and it's 2-0 Oakland. And we'll be playing the Milwaukee Brewers. And the first 15,000 adults 16 and older will receive a gray hip pocket pouch, compliments of Lipton. It's like the one you see there. It's the A's and the Brewers. A 1:05 start. Call ahead, get your tickets, and have them in hand. Come on in and be one of the first 15,000 to get a nice pack. Some people wear them on the back, some wear them on the front. Some kids in A's caps, and some with Seattle caps right in that area. Well, it's the last half of the second inning, and leading it off is Candy Maldonado, the right fielder for the Indians. He was having a pretty good year for him. He had 1 hit, 3 at-bats in the first game. That's a foul ball. That was close.
Rich Dyer, the third base coach, wanted it, but Larry Barnett said no. And he's the one that counts.
The only one in this instance.
He took a shot on the first game. He was behind the plate. It's an off-speed pitch of Maldonado out in front. Let's see where it goes. Tough call.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Down low for a ball. Yeah, Barnett got his mask knocked right off his head in the first game by a foul ball.
Brought some blood. Barry Weinberg taking care of him between innings. You see a lot of trainers do that. Take care of the umpires, because otherwise they don't have anybody there.
There's another one out there. Ball girl down there kind of took that one on the Olay side. Well, there was a National League umpire a couple days ago got bloody nose when Coleman of the Cardinals Hit him with a batting helmet, Bill. Busted his nose right across the bridge. Speaking of the Cardinals, how about Whitey Herzog resigning today? That's a surprise.
By the way, that little bump by Coleman cost him some money in a few days.
7 days. That's
right.
the biggest suspension of all so far this year.
That's one part of the game that cannot be tolerated, and that's the reason he got the 7 days. You cannot come close to the umpires, and by rights you should not be able to.
Man, that's a good pitch right there. Mike Moore leaves Maldonado standing up there looking at where that ball went.
Throw him off-speed pitches and then the fastball inside that had him looking. Look at Jamie up on the inside part of the plate, and Maldonado backing up, but I don't know why, other than the fact that he thought the ball, he wasn't looking for it in there.
Well, if Mike can keep that ball in there with that kind of velocity tonight, he'll be tough. Here's Chris James, a designated hitter. They have him as the DH against 2 right-handed starting pitchers tonight. They had acquired Ken Phelps from the Oakland A's not too long ago in hopes that he might be their DH in these situations. But they say he's not hitting the ball at all over here.
He has been playing some first base, but because of Keith Hernandez being out due to a calf muscle problem, he sustained. The A's were here on the last trip. He is down in the rehab program in Florida, getting ready to come back. They hope by next Thursday, and play resumes after the All-Star break.
He's playing in a rookie league down in Florida right now. Had a couple of hits yesterday, I noticed. We have 1 out, 2nd inning, 2nd game of a doubleheader. A gigantic crowd here in Cleveland. And I tell you what, this place can be half full and you've got a big crowd, but it's more than half full tonight. And Mike Moore runs the count to 3-0 on Chris James, with Brooke Jacoby, the Indians' big home run hitters, standing on deck. Look at that, boy. I'll tell you, they put 80,000 people in here for football games. That's ball 4. Not a good thing to do ahead of Jacoby, who busted one way out of here in the first game to give him a couple of runs.
I think if there's one thing that puzzles Mike Moore, it has to be that. He pitches very well to Maldonado. Some good breaking balls. He hits the corner for strike 3 on a fastball, and then comes out with 4 pitches to the next batter, another right-hander, and walks him on those 4 pitches.
Some pretty good numbers right there for Jacoby. He's about the number 6 hitter in the American League, and he's doing it with some power. Outside ball 1. That's 5 straight out of the strike zone for Mike so far in this inning. Now Jacoby got a fastball up and in that first inning, and on the very first pitch, and he launched it. And he's launched some against Mike, it looks like, with those averages. He won't launch very many down there. That's a good pitch. A lot of the Indian fans and some of the Indian press corps felt that Jacoby might be chosen as one of the all-star players as an alternate, but Kelly Gruber's having an even better year with some pretty good average numbers and 20 home runs. So Tony La Russa chose Kelly Gruber instead of Jacoby. Same pitch. It's amazing a different swing a guy takes at different locations, isn't it? Get one up around the letters on this guy, and he just looks like an altogether different type of a swinger. Than those 2 pitches were down around his knees. He had kind of a chopping swing at those.
Well, he is very strong with his upper body, and that's why he's able to turn on the pitch as he did in the first inning of the first game, 2nd inning.
Get a good pitch like that with 2 strikes on the batter. You got to hope that he hits it foul. There's the skipper.
Last time we were televising the ball went in the dugout of the A's.
Some guys leaning right over the railing of the A's dugout. That pitch almost hit Jacoby. 2-2 the count. Kansas City and Detroit, no score. That's Gordon against Morris there tonight. Kansas City has been rolling offensively lately.
Ron Davis placed on the 15-day disabled list again today, and Mark Davis is going to make a start.
Saw that
on Sunday. He was a starting pitcher and went to the bullpen for San Diego.
Went to the bank as a result of what he did there. Now 2-2, 1 out, 1 on here in the second inning. Nice night in Cleveland. If you don't mind it a little cool. Went to the breaking ball and didn't get it over. It's 3-2 now.
The key to this at bat so far for Jacoby is that he's fouled off a couple of tough pitches, and now he's able to take the count to 3-2. But when you know a hitter is a fastball hitter, 3-2, sometimes it's better not to throw it, because he is going to be sitting on it, and he is one type of hitter who will not let a fastball get by.
Runner from first was leaning, and Mike drove him back in over there. Jamie Quirk behind the plate infrequently this year, but he's done a fine job when he's gotten back there. He threw a runner out the other day in a game. Similar situation to this right here. Runner's going. Ball is fouled off again.
Well, James is not getting a big lead at first base. He is running only to try to stay out of the double play. I figure that type of lead, if he does, or if Jacoby happens to strike out, he can kick it in. He does not have many stolen bases.
Jacoby struck out only 29 times all year, so he is able to get the bat on the ball most of the time.
James has 3 stolen bases. He has not been caught stealing.
He's going again, and the ball is hit up into the air in a shallow right. Jose Canseco lost one in the sun out there in the first game, but there's no sun now.
Challenged him with a fastball and made a good pitch. You can hit Jacoby, get him to hit a ball to right field on a fastball. He had something on it.
That ball was tailing back in. Got the inside, and as you say, had plenty on it. Now they're 2 down. Here's Felix Fermin, the shortstop. The Indians 1 game under 500. They've won 39 games. They've lost 40. The A's are 19 games over 500. 49 wins and 30 losses. A's have been as high as 22 over. There's a little looper out into right field for a base hit. And Canseco cuts it off. Throws it back into second where Walt Weiss is holding ground there. So Fermin just sort of served that one gently out there, and that's going to bring up Joel Skinner, the catcher.
This is Felix Fermin all the way. That pitch was down and away, and he just dropped the head of the bat on it. James had thoughts of going to third, but very wisely, as Canseco cut the ball off, went into his slide after he had rounded the bag to stop himself to get back into second. Skinner only 58 at bats coming into tonight's ball game. Mentioned Alomar doing the majority of the catching. 67 games compared to 20. This is the 21st for Skinner.
Incidentally, the all-star catcher Sandy Alomar did catch the first game of the doubleheader tonight and had a base hit and threw out a runner.
And a big play was that caught stealing, throwing to second with Ricky stealing third. Carney Lansford going to second.
An appeal to the first base umpire, John Hirschbeck. He says no swing. Yeah, Alomar with runners at first and second. Ricky Henderson at second. They were hardly even looking at him. Greg Swindell and Ricky took off to third. Carney Lansford took off to second. And Alomar didn't even look at third base. Pitch misses also. It's 2-0, and Mike Moore is struggling for control right here. Had such an easy first inning. couple of runners up. Now a base hit, and they could tie the ball game here. Probably a wild pitch. We'll see. I don't think skipped, but it was pretty far outside.
Yeah, Jamie setting up on the inside part of the plate, and a pitch outside. Tough to recover to get to a pitch like that that's thrown that hard. Almost like a cut fastball moving away from the hitter.
Well, Mike's got some real work to do now. 3-0 count on Joel Skinner. There's a strike. Here's the out right here that Mike has had trouble getting this year. It's the big out with runners in scoring position. 2 out. Walked him. Now the bases are loaded with Indians in the second. And 2 walks and a little bloop single. And up comes Stan Jefferson.
Say, it's amazing this young man is still even able to come up to the plate and play, as Roger Clemens got him in the right elbow. The first pitch that he pitched against the Indians a couple of weeks ago, after they had a fight the night before, in which Tony Pena had been thrown at or thrown inside, and Clemens hit him in the right elbow the first pitch, and it hurt just watching him get hit.
Yeah, that ball was coming about 97 miles an hour, they said. That one was coming 90 miles an hour, but it missed inside, ball 1. Jamie first going to talk to Mike Moore, who's just really struggling here in this inning.
Well, if nothing else, just an opportunity to go out and slow him down. He is trying to rush it. The 3-1 pitch, he tried to overthrow. The throw too hard, he ended up overthrowing. And just to break up the rhythm that he has of just throwing balls, and that's doesn't hurt sometimes just to walk out and talk to him.
Well, Jefferson only has 2 runs batted in all year, so it's the kind of a guy you certainly don't want to be walking here. He may get a hit, but he's one you'd rather pitch to. 2 balls and no strikes now. And even a 100 hitter becomes like a 250 hitter on a 2-0 count with the bases loaded. Knew he'd be taking that one. Stand right up in the front of the batter's box.
All he wants to do is slap the ball and use his legs. He has excellent speed.
He's not going to have to unless Mike throws the ball over the plate. It's 3-1 now.
Pitch looked like it might have caught the corner. However, when you're inconsistent with the pitches, it's tough to get a call from an umpire if you're not around the plate consistently.
Mike came up. Mike Gallego will take care of this one out in short right. Boy, that was a big pitch. He had to have that one. Mike Moore's looking at the plate umpire and arguing with him a little bit, not a lot, just talking to him about where that other pitch was, but they're out of the inning at 2-0 Oakland. Well, there's a look at the score of the ball game. The A's 2 runs, 2 hits. One of the hits was a single by Jose Canseco in the first inning, followed by a Mark McGuire blast just inside the foul pole and left off Sergio Valdez. Boy, that was a big pitch for Mike Moore right there.
Well, the only thing he could do is what he did. 3-1 fastball. Here it is. He just got a little extra on the ball and got the pop-up.
Can't be walking the guy like that, that's for sure. Mike Gallego, a second baseman. Hit a ball to the wall in left center field, and I mean deep left center field in the first game. Did the same thing in Milwaukee the other day. Pops this one up in straightaway center field, and that's Webster making the catch, and there's one away in a third.
You know, throughout baseball, you don't see very many doubleheaders scheduled. Most clubs like to have every date an individual date, single game, so they can take advantage of the attendance. But back here, surprising to have a scheduled doubleheader because the rainouts, you're going to have a lot of them anyway.
They've got 2 more scheduled doubleheaders, Ray. Of course, the A's world champions. Everywhere we've been, it's big crowds. 3 sellouts in a row, almost 50,000 every night in Toronto. In Milwaukee, 2 out of the 3 games are 4 nights in Toronto. I keep forgetting that one. Ricky Anderson takes outside, and Milwaukee had 2 crowds, 35,000 and over, including yesterday afternoon. An afternoon game. And then look at this one here tonight in Cleveland. I got to say, this must be around 50,000, yes. 45 anyway.
And they were expecting between 45 and 50. Of course, a lot of people might have heard the second inning of the first game that the Indians scored 6 runs. Heard that and said, well, let's go watch some baseball. They've got a lead like that. Let's go. I was talking to Mike Segui, who's their director of travel for the Indians, and I asked him about the doubleheader, and he said, well, normally on Friday night they would have a big crowd anyway. And I said, well, why a doubleheader? And he didn't seem to really know why, but they have the big crowd.
Ricky takes outside. Mike's the son of Phil Segui, who used to be a general manager of the Oakland Athletics and Cincinnati Reds and here in Cleveland.
He, like Mickey Morabito of the A's, very good at what they do, taking all the team travel.
That's a foul ball.
And it's not an easy job either.
Boy, you got that right. Boy, I mean, there's something every day when you've got around 40 people traveling. There's something that makes some of those 40 a little bit unhappy every day, and you're the guy that's got to take care of it all.
Well, example, check it in the hotel last night. Probably 5 or 6 guys changing rooms because of the size of the rooms or whatever, and Mickey has to make sure everything's done, and he gets it done.
Ricky Henderson hit this ball in the air down the left field line. It's going to curve into the crowd.
320 feet directly down the lines here at Municipal Stadium, and then it juts out to 377, 385 in the power alleys. The ball really carries down the left field line here, especially, and the right field, right down the lines.
Valdez had good control tonight, hasn't walked anybody. Ricky didn't swing at that one. 2 umpires said that. He's within 1 bad one of walking this guy. He's have not had many bases on balls given to him on this whole road trip. What happened is Ricky's bat hit the catcher's mitt, right, and that happens a whole lot. Ricky takes it back low, and the catchers who don't work all the time, like Skinner hadn't been in there all the time, gets that mitt down there, and Ricky takes the bat back, and it breaks his rhythm. Ray's the kind of a guy who, when he was a catcher, said he used to try to do that.
Oh, yeah. Disrupt him.
See how low he takes that bat back? Right in there is where the catcher sets his mitt up a lot.
What it does is prevent the catcher from giving an early target.
Ricky got under that one and hit it deep into left center field. That still may go. It is on its way, and there she goes. Valdez just made a better kick with a rosin bag than some I've seen in watching World Cup soccer lately. Ricky Henderson got that one over the left center field wall. And I mean, it was up in the air.
Well, breaking up the rhythm of Valdez might have been just enough for him to groove the fastball. Because, well, it could have been more than that, too. The fact that he didn't want to walk in for fear of him stealing second. They give him the fastball, and he hits the home run. 2 in 2 days. Yesterday, a 2-run shot in Milwaukee.
It was almost an uppercut swing right there. Carney Lansford hits one deep in the left center field. That ball's got a good charge on it, too. And it is over the fence. It, too, is gone. Back-to-back dingers for the A's. 3 already in this second ball game of the doubleheader. Number 3 for Carney.
Consecutive pitch home runs for Henderson and Lansford. It's already happened once this year. Mark Wiley, the pitching coach, out to talk to his pitcher, and there would be some activity down in the Indians bullpen. Carney has been swinging the bat very well on this road trip. He has not had a lot of hits to show for it.
First game tonight, he hit the ball awfully hard. Had 2 base hits in that first game, both singles to right field.
Cecilio Guante up and throwing for the Indians. Well, this is a good thing to see for the A's after the first game. The frustrating part of yesterday not scoring many runs, facing some good pitchers. Yesterday, left-hander Teddy Higuera, and in this first game, Greg Swindell.
And up until yesterday, only 2 starting left-handed pitchers all year had beaten the A's in 75 games. Actually 77 games. And Higuera beat him yesterday, and then Swindell tonight. Canseco takes outside a ball. Jose's batting average at .291 right now. 20 homers, 50 RBIs, and you think with those numbers, and he's only 2 for his last 34 or 35 trips to the plate, and still has those numbers.
It's interesting, in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, which is the morning paper, they have, as we come into each city, a little box saying who the starting pitchers are going to be, who's hot, who's not, and it said who's hot. Jose Canseco, 20 home runs.
And there's number 21 right there. You can just chalk that one up, baby. It is long gone. That's the first one since he signed his big contract.
And he had been waiting to get the bat head out. And interestingly enough, twice tonight, he has hits to center field. The base hit to center, and now the home run.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen this. 3 home runs in a row. Henderson, Lansford, and Canseco, and here's another guy who has already hit one in this ball game, Mark McGwire.
He knew it too.
That was right on the fat part of the bat.
It is the second time this year that the A's have hit 3 home runs in a row.
Both times against the Indians. Say one thing it's done, it stopped that drum from beating out there a little bit.
Vermeer trying to buy some time, and John McNamara feels that he's had enough time as he is on his way, and there'll be a pitching change.
Going out for a mercy killing here. So the Athletics are leading 5-0 on 4 home runs in the second game of the doubleheader. And while McNamara is bringing in somebody else, we're going to step aside.
For the Cleveland Indians, Cecilio Guante, making his 23rd appearance of the season, this 3rd appearance against the Athletics. He faced the club here at Municipal Stadium twice in the 2-game series earlier in the season. Total of inning and 2/3. Gave up just 1 hit and a run. A couple of walks, 1 intentional. Good fastball, slinging type motion, which makes it somewhat difficult on right-handed hitters. Has a curveball and a good forkball. Came over to the Indians, signed as a free agent. Spent last year with the Texas Rangers, the year before part of the time with the Rangers, and then the New York Yankees.
Facing Mark McGwire, he hit his 21st home run in the first inning. And hits the outside corner on him for a call strike. Yeah, this guy I can see be awfully tough for right-handers to pick up. He's got to move his head around a little bit besides. They miss it outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the Athletics now have hit 91 home runs for the season, and this their 80th ball game. 91 homers. Mark McGwire hit that one very high into center field. Not very deep. Two down here in the 3rd. And up comes the designated hitter for this game, Dave Henderson. Ray, when you played here, fence wasn't quite that tall out there, was it? Do they still have the wire fence up, the little one?
It was not quite that high, but they used to have the wire. So the fans, they used to have picnic area back there, so you can watch batting practice and everything. Plexiglass at one time.
It's always been considered a pretty good home run ballpark because this big park sort of shields it from the wind most of the time. One dude trying to hit one out. Pulled off of that one. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
Checking my records on the 3 home runs. Canseco, McGuire, and Hasse here against the Indians in the first trip. Back to back to back.
Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Just thinking about the center field fence, or center field fence, and the permanent bleachers. Used to be all wide open back in the 50s, late 40s. And it's never been hit. The permanent seats have never been hit with a home run here in center field, although Cecil Fielder almost did against Greg Swindell. I think it took 1 hop into those permanent seats.
Dave Henderson takes outside. It's 3-2 now. Well, batting practice was somewhat like old times tonight before the game. Jose Canseco was feeling good and gave the fans who were here quite a thrill. He had, I don't know, 8 or 10 home runs out of here, some in the upper deck. Henderson is out, and so are the A's. But they scored 3 in the inning and lead 5-0. You think about it in baseball, maybe it just stands out. It doesn't happen that many times, but you certainly remember it. There were the Indians with a bases loaded situation and a 3-1 count on a batter, and Mike Moore is able to come back and get him out, and it just sort of seemed to buoy the A's. And here they came: Ricky Henderson, Carney Lansford, Jose Canseco, all dingers in a row. Now here's Jerry Brown starting it over, and he takes a fastball strike. Started to mention a little while ago with Terry Steinbach on the disabled list now. The A's brought up a new catcher. And he got in the game in the first game. Fouled off. Afener is his name, and he's 26 years old. Had been in the big leagues a little bit with Houston. Not a whole lot. The A's got him, in the draft a couple of years ago, Ray? And he had been hurt a lot last year, but he's always had some pretty good power numbers. Was doing a good job at AAA, so he is up here and got into the first game.
Said he was shocked. Almost got fined the first day he came into the ball club. Yesterday he showed up at the ballpark and came out on the field. Tony La Russa getting set to tape his manager's show. Troy Afner there with the shin guards on. Tony said, I should fine you $100, maybe $200, because the first thing you do when you walk into a major league clubhouse is to come up and say hello to the manager. He says, I don't want to make a big deal about it. Just come up and say hello. And he says, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Don't give me that ticket back to Tacoma.
That's right. He's a nice young man.
I'll be the friendly guy you ever saw from here on in. Well, a lot of guys are just in awe of coming up and going in, I would imagine, breaking in on the routine of the manager. He struck him out.
I saw something last night in the hotel lobby after we got in at a reasonable hour, and guys were going out to dinner. And I saw Troy Afner with Mike Moore and Jamie Quirk. They were going out, so you could just see him standing around the lobby, kind of like a little lost puppy, but guys took him out, I assume, to dinner. Very nice of him.
Mike tries an off-speed pitch to Mitch Webster.
My first day in the big league, Sam McDowell took me out for pizza.
Oh my goodness.
In Kansas City.
Strike call. Well, I've mentioned it often. It's something a rookie never forgets, the nice things that the veterans do for him in the big league. Boy, like you remember that forever. A lot of horror stories about things the veterans do to rookies. That's a good forkball Webster didn't come close to.
When I first signed in 1965, I came into Cleveland for 3 days before they sent me to the minor leagues. And one thing I'll never forget is walking into the clubhouse. Rocky Colavito met me at the door. introduced himself and said, "Come on, Ray, I want to take you around and introduce you to guys." He took me around to every player in this clubhouse here in Cleveland and introduced me.
He's that kind of a guy.
Oh, what a class man.
Yeah, he was in Kansas City. I got to describe his 300th major league home run.
So I'm playing in an old timers game when we were in Toronto, and the game at Buffalo, and he still has the same swing.
Gallego knocked it down but can't make a play. Webster's on with the base hit.
There's where you need to know where your second baseman is. McGuire started to go over, which was a good play. He started to dive for it. Then he knew that Gallego was there, that he would have the play, so he was going back to first base. Mike just couldn't come up with it. Webster with good speed. Been probably tough to throw him out anyway, although that's tough to say with Gallego because he can come up with some great plays.
If anybody would, he would have. He threw one guy out lying on his back, threw it through his legs to first. One out. Here's Carlos Baerga. Man,
Carlos.
Those letters are mixed up. Got that one over. One strike, one out. We're in the third inning. The Athletics are leading 5-0. They lost the first game of the doubleheader 6-1. Scott Sanderson had a very unusual game. Didn't give up any runs in pitching a complete game except in one inning. They gave up 6 runs in that inning, and I mean, there were no cheap hits. They were ripping the ball. 2 of them went out of the park. Walt Weiss near second, steps on the bag, got one, throws to first, and thanks to Mark McGuire, they got a double play. Walt kind of short-armed that ball over to first base. He had so much time and threw it in the dirt, a long hop, and McGuire came up with it. After 3 innings, the A's 5, the Indians nothing.
This guy with a home run hit here for the Tribe anyway. He shoots off the fireworks.
I see. There's used to be one guy sitting up there ringing or pounding that Indian drum.
And John Adams is up in the other seats. They took him out of the bleachers.
Took him out of the bleachers. Move your tom-tom. There he is.
It's quiet. It's quiet tonight in the second game. First game he was pounding it.
Felix Jose for the Athletics. Against Quante, who pitches up high for a ball, 1-1.
Well, it's nice to see this crowd here because played a lot of ball games here where those seats wouldn't see bodies in them for a long time throughout a season.
Felix Jose gets a base hit to right. Boy, I know. And when you have, I've been here under 5,000 a lot of times. And when you have under 5,000 in an 80,000 seat stadium, I mean, it's like you have family and a few friends.
Well, the problem there, if the guy boos you down the right field line, it echoes over to the left field. You know, that's
You didn't have a lot of booing while you were here. As a matter of fact, fans, we're going to throw a little thing up on the screen here sometime tonight and let you know. Oh, as a matter of fact, we're going to do it tomorrow. I'll give you a tease tonight since we may have some people not watching tomorrow. There have only been 3. See, now you'll know the answer tomorrow to our trivia question. Here's Jamie Quirk. He hits one high and he hits it deep into right field, and it's got a chance, and there she goes. Man, the A's have got the dinger bats out tonight.
And Jamie knew it was gone too because he gave a little trot down the first base line. But when you hit him like that, you do know. His first of the season, 10 RBIs for Jamie.
Boy, he's having a good road trip. We got surprising start the other day in Milwaukee against a left-handed pitcher and got a base hit to drive in a run. Did a great job behind the plate. Well, that's 5 homers tonight for the A's.
Fastball, middle of the plate. Jamie, a pull hitter. He pulled it. And it was not a cheapie. It got up there.
And here's Walt Weiss. Walt takes it low. We were going to say, in all the years they've had baseball here in Cleveland, since the fans started voting for the All-Star team, Only 3 Cleveland Indian players have ever been voted by the fans to start the All-Star game. Only 3. Tune in tomorrow. We'll tell you who. That'd be a dirty trick, wouldn't it? We got to tell them that. At least one of them was Ray Fawcett.
Really?
Ray Fawcett. Strike to Walt Weiss. 2-2. Sandy Alomar, of course, was the catcher this year, named by the fans to the American League All-Star team, and his brother Roberto was named to the National League All-Stars team as a second baseman. Walt Weiss hits one pretty well, but not well enough to get out. It's right at the right fielder Maldonado, and there's one away.
And Terry Steinbach was injured, placed on the disabled list. This after taking batting practice in Milwaukee. And that first night, he's had the best batting practice. He's saying this morning, he said he was hitting the ball great. And then he injured his rib, lower part of the ribs on the left side. Placed on the disabled list, and Bertone LaRussa saying that he was going to use primarily Hasse and Quirk, let them share the catching duties until Terry came back. Ron probably would like to ask Tony, why me against Greg Swindell? Because he faced him in the first game, and Swindell's throwing very hard.
Out number 2 coming up out in right field. Maldonado's got Gallegos fly ball.
Whereas both Hasse and Quirk are left-handed hitters.
Right.
One of them had to pay the dues, and it was Hasse in the first game. Swindell was throwing hard.
And up comes Ricky Henderson, who just continues to have an outstanding season. Well, he hasn't let up offensively this year. Breaking ball for a call strike. Ricky's batting average up at .335. He's been right up among the top 3 in batting average in the American League most of the year. Another hard slider, call strike 2. Griffey Jr. out in Seattle has been leading the league now for the last week or so, just about right in there. Ozzie Guillen in Chicago, they're the 3 guys who've been carrying it the most of the way. Here's a high drive to deep left field. Is that number 6? Chalk it up. 6 home runs for the A's in this ball game. 2 for Ricky Henderson.
I think he tried to throw him another slider, which is not a bad idea if you get it out there, but he didn't.
Ricky thought it was a great idea. Man alive. There'll be some sore forearms after this one. A lot of bashes going on here. The A's record for most home runs in a ball game is 6.
Oh, he had thrown him 2 good breaking balls, and Ricky didn't like it, so he removed his bubble gum before the 0-2 pitch. Maybe that was the key, because he hung him one. And the strength of Ricky, his second home run, the 6th in the ball game for the A's.
Well, the A's in 1980, is it, Carl Young? 1980 when the A's, yeah, 1980 is when they hit 6 home runs in a ball game. Still got 5 innings left. Ernie Lansford is out and retires the side here in the 4th, but the A's add 3 more and lead 8-0 over Cleveland.
You know, for 6 years running, Plymouth Voyager has been America's best-selling minivan.
Standing on the left side of the stadium here, but they're not standing and clapping. They're standing and watching. Some guy threw some firecrackers in the bullpen out there. Here is Candy Maldonado.
Probably the same guy threw him at our hotels at 3:30 this morning.
Boy, I asked Ray on a bus today. I said, Ray, did you hear that clap of thunder or whatever that was? In our hotel, when they have an atrium here. It's a big high thing, and it's glass. It's a swimming pool down at the bottom and right outside our window. There's a little looper to center field. And nice running catch by Felix Jose. That guy can play anywhere. 1 out here in the 4th inning. But this thing, I tell you, their noise is just really magnifying there, and somebody threw a bomb at that thing at 3:30 and another one at 7:30 this morning.
It's a good play by Felix Jose. And ball not hit that hard, and a lot of times the outfielder going by the swing will break back, but he got a good jump on the ball and saved a hit.
Here's Chris James, the designated hitter for the Indians. And that's ball one.
Well, the one at 3:30 this morning startled me because I didn't know what was going on. Because I think it was about an M80. That's more than a firecracker.
Boy, it was. I thought, first thing I thought, the clap of thunder. I said, no, that couldn't be that loud.
And Steinbach said the same thing. He said, was that thunder? And I said, no. He thought it was too, because he was on the atrium.
Well, I didn't know what. It scared me for a minute. And then when the second one came, I said, now, wait a minute. This is
thunder 4 hours apart. Huh?
Yeah. Strike, it's called. They are wrecking a big building right across the street from us, and you know, you start thinking, well, maybe they threw the dynamite in the wrong place or something. Got all those race car people in there. Carl Young was checking in last night, and Roger Penske checked in right behind him. He said, Mr. Young, I understand you guys have an aspiring driver on your television production crew. Pitch it outside the ball, 3-1. He walked him. That's the second time he's walked Chris James in the game. Let's pause for station identification. The A's telecast being watched in all those cities tonight across the country and across the ocean. This is the A's television network. And in Cleveland with a huge crowd on hand tonight. The A's putting on an awesome display of power. 6 home runs in the game. It's 8-0 Oakland after losing the first game 6-1, getting only 3 hits yesterday. You can tell it makes quite a difference in who's standing in the middle of that diamond throwing that ball from 60 feet 6 inches. Lansford's got it down to second. Got one. No throw to first base. Runner was right on top of Gallego, and the throw is a little bit low for him to come up and be able to get leverage to throw it.
That's when you have to know whether to try to make the throw or not. And Carney makes the throw, but it starts to sink a little. Mike started to throw. He saw James on top of him very quickly, and instead of throwing the ball in the seats and putting the runner in scoring position, decided to leave the runner at first base. And with 2 outs, better there than at second.
Here's Felix Fermin, the shortstop of the Indians. He got a base hit to right in the second inning. Pretty good cut at that one and fouled it off. Tomorrow night it'll be Kurt Young for the A's, and boy, Kurt pitched great on this road trip in the one game he started. Boy, the A's bullpen area is all looking back up into the crowd, and the security people are out that way. There's quite a ruckus going on out in left field right now. There's something left over from the 4th of July fireworks there. Got a swarm of policemen out there. I don't know if it's too late or not. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. Well, all the A's bullpen crew came out and started looking up, see what's going on. You know, Tony La Russa on your Tony La Russa show the other day, Ray, the day after Jamie Quirk went in to catch, said something about Jamie. He said, I have no qualms about putting him in and knowing that he's going to call a good game, because he said from the bullpen he knows every pitch we throw of the game. Weiss has got that one backhanded to Gallego for a fine force out to retire the side. And we played 4 here in Cleveland. In the second game, the A's lead at 8-0. Jose Canseco will be the starting right fielder in the American League team for the All-Star game next Tuesday night. after that first pitch, and he got one he could handle right then and just didn't hit it. He's had a single and a long homer so far in this ball game. He wasn't looking for that one. No balls, 2 strikes. He may get another one somewhat like it. Oh, you stop and think about the all-star contingent of the A's and the home runs they're going to carry with them into that ball game, Ray. 21 homers for Jose, 21 for Mark McGwire, and 17 for Ricky Henderson. And that's so far.
$45,705 on hand here tonight for this doubleheader.
There's a dirty pitch right there, a sidearm curveball.
And to think there's some 30,000 empty seats.
I don't believe that.
Well, maybe that if paid at 45,000,
yeah.
maybe there's some.
Well, there are a lot of empty seats in the bleachers. That includes that whole thing. Got in on his fist, and Jose pops it foul out of play. Broke his bat, I believe. He uses a very thin handled bat. And if you get in on him, you can do that.
But if you make a mistake.
Yep.
He was very happy because he got a shipment of bats in before the A's took off on this trip, and there had to be a good 6-7 dozen bats above his locker. Now that Frank does his best to get the best wood for the players, different bat manufacturers. Each player has their own type of bat.
They order by model number. 2-2 the count. Fouled it up here. Well, the A's have 5 innings left to set a new home run record for a ball game in the American League tonight. There's a 3rd inning score. Baltimore and Chicago 2-2. He's out at first base. Number 9 makes another good play.
Carlos Baerga.
And here's Mark McGwire. Mark needs only 9 more home runs this year to become the first player in the history of baseball to ever hit 30 home runs his first 3 years in the big leagues.
And the season is not yet half over officially.
Yeah,
this
you
is
gotta
79th ball game.
Year he hit 49 as a rookie. What did he go into the All-Star break with 33?
Something like that, yeah.
Good cut at that one. It's 0-2. Well, he certainly made a lot of friends among the press and people of the nation that year. A rookie with 49 home runs, being trailed by every pressman in the country most of the last half of the season, most of the first half of the season. I guess he handled it as well as anybody could ever handle that, I believe. A lot of poise.
A lot of that goes back to the organization learning from the experience Jose Canseco had in '86. So in '87, when Mark was having a similar following, Jay Alvis arranging the press conferences throughout the American League. So important to try to make sure that the players have the time to be able to get out and do what they're supposed to do, and that's get ready for a baseball game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. High drive, deep right center field. He didn't get all of that one, but he got enough of it, and it's on the net, and the A's have 7 home runs in this ball game. That is a new record for an A's team in a single game, and Indian fans are standing and cheering now. Look at all around here, they're standing up.
And that might be the best home run because of where he hit it and how he hit it. He has been pulling a lot of home runs into left field and left center. But this one, well, this might help out tremendously to get a ball out to right center, and especially to see the center fielder just keep going back thinking he had a chance to get it, and then get it in the warning track and just watching it. Cleared by plenty.
One out in the 5th. Here's Dave Henderson.
Kind of a hum around here, isn't there?
Oh, I mean, that brought people up out of their seats. And we're just in the 5th inning. I think it's time for some more. Fouled off. This is the same team that was not hitting in the first game or in yesterday. Mike Moore's got to be saying, thank goodness it's for me.
Scott Sanderson may not be thinking the same thing, though.
Scotty say, well, we were just a couple of those in the first game. 2 balls and 1 strike. But I thought it was really great on the part of Scott Sanderson. After being bombed that way, 6 runs in the 2nd inning, he came back and retired the next 15 out of 16 batters, walked 1, then gave up a hit and got the final guys out. So he really pitched well, other than that 1 inning.
Well, you take out the 1 inning, out of the 3-hit shutout, and the A's win by a score of 1-0.
Yeah. I wrote it in ink, and I couldn't erase that 1 inning, though. 3-1 to Dave. Dave didn't know it was ball 4. He faked me out for a minute. I thought maybe I didn't know.
Left-hander down in the Indians bullpen. Can't see his number from this area. Jeff Kaiser.
He's 9 runs on 9 hits. 7 of the 9 hits have gone all the way. Jose takes a strike. 4 homers off Valdez, 3 homers off Guante. That one's off the fist and off the glove, and I don't know if they'll get him or not. He didn't, but he made a fine backhanded try. Jose can get down that line in a hurry.
They broke his bat and jammed him. And Guante just getting off and should have made the play. Actually, it was a play, and he gets a base hit, Felix Jose, which is a good break for him. Considering the ball was not hit that hard, but a lot of time the reflexes, it doesn't work.
Well, I'll tell you what, that left-hander they pointed at may not be all that anxious to come in here right now. Seeing what he's seeing here tonight. 10 hits for the Athletics. But we do have this new guy, and
Jeff Kaiser is
Kaiser. It's our next television update for you. As you can see, we have quite a few more games left in July. Tomorrow night we'll be on the air at 4 o'clock from here in Cleveland. That's Bay Area time. It'll be Kurt Young against Bud Black. Bud Black's been pitching well for the Indians too, and so is Kurt Young for the A's. And then on Sunday, July 15th, it's a home game at the Coliseum in Oakland. We're going to do that game on the A's television network, 1 o'clock West Coast. And then the California Angels, July 23rd and 24th. That's Monday and Tuesday nights. We'll do those games and be on at 7 o'clock each one of those ball games. So we have some entertaining television coming on up for you. And of course, it's going to go throughout the rest of the summer following the A's. And as you can tell, they're definitely in a pennant race. The Chicago White Sox and the A's in a virtual tie as we started this second game here tonight, because the A's did lose the first game. But it looks as if Oakland is well on their way to winning their 50th game of the first half of the season.
You see Jeff Kaiser, the Oakland A's 10th round draft choice. In June of 1982, he was traded to the Cleveland Indians on February the 23rd of 1987 for Kurt Wardell. He pitched for the A's in 1985. He was in 15 ball games, did not have a decision. Spent most of his time at Tacoma. Started out in Medford back in '82, Modesto, Albany, and Tacoma. He's been up with the Indians in parts of the last 3 years. His 5th game in 1990. And you saw his numbers. No record, 4-point earned run average. And this was one of the things, as you mentioned before, and it did not happen in the first game, which both managers had to be very happy that, first of all, that Scott Sanderson able to come back and pitch a complete ball game, considering he gave up the 6 runs. But the Indians have not been as fortunate. The third pitcher for the Indians in this ball game, and again only the 5th inning.
Jamie Quirk takes up high for a ball. Well, Mike Moore and Sanderson know they'll not be pitching anymore before the All-Star break, so Scott pitched a complete game here tonight, and Mike more than likely could if Tony wanted to use him with this kind of a lead. One ball, one strike on Jamie Quirk, who had a home run in the 4th inning. Good for 2 runs. McGuire's got 3 RBIs. Canseco 1 RBI. Lansford 1. Henderson, that's Ricky Henderson, 2. Dave Stewart comes back here on Sunday against Al Nipper. Jamie Quirk gets another base hit against a left-hander, and it's going to drive in Dave Henderson. Felix Jose stops at second, and the A's lead it 11-0.
Jamie just fighting the ball off down the left field corner, and the left fielder over to cut the ball off, and Felix Jose had rounded second, thinking about going to third. However, he stopped, and Jamie Quirk very wisely stopped at first base. He had his head down. He was thinking a double.
Correct that score. It's 10. I looked up at the scoreboard real fast before I got my number written in my book, and they had 1 extra here. Ball Weiss swinging and missing, strike 2. Weiss fouls it away, 0-2. Got a hot flash on the wire. John Olerud hit a home run in Toronto. John had a tough time against the A's, and we kept saying how good a hitter he was, and the guys in our truck were giving us a little static about that. More than a little. One ball, 2 strikes on Weiss. Looking at a curveball. Kaiser gets his first strikeout. And it brings up Mike Gallego. Once again, a curveball to the right-hand batter, and it drops in for a strike. Inside, ball 3. You might be wondering, since the A's have 7 home runs already in one ball game, what the major league record is, the most number of home runs hit by a team in one game, and that happened in 1987. Toronto Blue Jays hit 10.
That was in Boston, wasn't it?
Baltimore.
Was it Baltimore?
Mike Gallego just gets a base hit out into left. Here comes another run for the A's. And it'll just rear back and tee it off time tonight. Feast or famine? Definitely applies to this club tonight.
Kaiser staying mostly with a curveball and the fastball away this time. The pitch that was about waist high. And Mike out in front pulling it for the RBI, and he gets his first hit of the night.
And here comes Ricky Henderson, who's hit 2 home runs in this ball game. He has 17 for the season now, and the crowd starts to buzz. Most he ever hit in 1 year is 28. And he also hit 24 the next year. Amazing power, but you look at those arms, you can see where it comes from. This season, as of this at bat, Ricky's batting .341. That probably gets him up there at the top again. That's been Kaiser's best pitch, is that curveball.
One thing you don't like to think about when you play a doubleheader, if you're in there for both of them and you get 8 to 10 at bats, you don't want to see zeros in the hit column for the entire night. 2 games. Ricky, 7 at bats. He has 4 hits, scored 3 runs, and 2 RBIs.
Coming into play tonight, Ken Griffey Jr. is hitting .333. He led Ricky Henderson by only 2 points. I guarantee you Ricky's up ahead of him now. Another curveball drops in there for a strike. You can smile if you've hit 2 dingers and you got 11-0 lead. If it's a close game, they may be nose to nose. Don't you know they're having a lot of fun in Chicago in a radio booth reading the ticker tonight? He fouled it off. He's probably saying, hey, there's something wrong here. This ticker's not working.
What was Ricky's talking when he's up at the plate like that? He's tapping his bat, talking, reminding him to do something. And whatever it is, has been the last 2 at bats. It's paid off.
That got him. Curveball right in on his wrist. And the side is retired. As Kaiser gets a couple of strikeouts. But the A's add 3 more runs. And it's 11-0.
You know, for 6 years running, Plymouth Voyager has been America's...
All makes for a great family outing. Pack up the kids, the burgers, and the barbecue and join your friends for a baseball bash. You say you want home runs? We have them by the trunkful. A's baseball is a great catch for the whole family. That's a safe bet. Be one of the first 15,000 adults at the A's Blue Jays game Saturday, July 21st, and you'll receive an A's Mr. Peanut beach towel.
All your life, you've been lean and mean. You needed everything in Gatorade. But times change. That's why there's new Gatorade Light Thirst Quencher. Because you still need those fluids and minerals. But you definitely don't need as many calories. New Gatorade Light. Low sodium, low calories. Because you'll always be mean. We just want to help you stay lean. New Gatorade Light.
And the American League scoreboard, a doubleheader also at Yankee Stadium between the Twins and the Yankees. The first game going 12 innings. Twins scoring 2 in the top of the 12th. They won that ball game. Berenguer, the winner in relief. Andy Hawkins went the distance. 12 innings. He picked up the loss, 1 and 6. Yankees now have lost 5 in a row. The nightcap, Yankees scored 3 in the first inning against Roy Smith. Dave LaPointe on the mound for the Yankees. Detroit 1-0 over Kansas City. That run coming on Cecil Fielder's 28th home run of the season. Seattle, Toronto. The Blue Jays have scored a run. It does not show there on John Olerud's home run. Holman against Wells. Baltimore and Chicago tied at 2 apiece. Randy Milligan, his 14th home run of the season. Harnish against Perez. California 3-2 over the Brewers. It's all the scoring done in the first inning. Langston against Dennis Powell. And a ball game just underway at Texas. Boston and the Rangers scoreless. Gardner against Brown.
And here's Mike Moore against Joel Skinner, who hits the first pitch on a line to Ricky Henderson. Snatch catch on the ball, and I'm not sure he had picked up right off the bat. He sort of stood right in his tracks.
I think you're exactly right.
Good thing he saw it. That one would have eaten him up. One out. Here's Stan Jefferson. Moore missed it outside. Well, the A's have the 2 more games here, one tomorrow and one Sunday, before the All-Star break. And then right after the All-Star break, they play a game against Minnesota on Wednesday, ordinarily an off day for major league teams, but a lot of the teams are having to play that day because of the early season lockout. Strike, it's in there, 2-1. But then the A's go home, and they're going to be at home for a while. 27 out of the next 34 games the A's play will be at the Coliseum.
Well, speaking of the lockout, the final 3 games of the season will be played at the Coliseum. 3 games against the California Angels. Those games also being lost early in the season. And I was told today that the seats are available to the general public. They're on sale right now for those 3 games, October the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the Coliseum against the California Angels.
Those could be big games. Who knows? Here's a 2-2 pitch. Just outside.
Yeah, we're told also that weekend games coming up are going to be tougher and tougher to see baseball games. And if you want tickets to any of those home games, we're told you should get them early.
Oh, Mike Moore thought he had a strike there. Stan Jefferson gets a walk. It's the 4th walk Mike has issued in the game. 1 out, 5th inning.
Pitch just called outside by Greg Kosk, the home plate umpire. Jamie Quirk behind the plate doing a good job catching the ball. Framing, as they call it. Catching it, keeping it on the corner. And there's a proper way to catch the baseball, and he did that.
Here's Jerry Brown. We're in the 5th inning. The Athletics lead 11-0. So when the A's play 27 out of 34 games at home, give you an idea of how they're able to do that, because they played 19 out of the last 25 on the road. Ball's moving a little too much right now. 2-0 the count. 3-0.
In that homestand, there will be a doubleheader against these same Cleveland Indians.
On July 18th.
July the 18th, Wednesday afternoon. A Tribe in town the 16th, 17th, and 18th. That would be the second series after the All-Star break. The Brewers in town for a 4-game series. A rain out at the Coliseum on midday. 45,000 on hand. The game got underway, but was called after just a couple of innings.
That's in there. 3-1. The A's play another doubleheader on that short road trip up to Minneapolis on May 27th. It's a Saturday. We'll carry the first game of that doubleheader on TV. It's quite a pitch right there on 3-1. Dave Henderson closes in on it, makes the catch. Good comeback for Mike Moore, going from 3-0 to get Jerry Brown.
So Mike has had a tough time of it. You might not think so, but he got 2 runs in the first inning. His ball club did. Then he had some trouble, bases loaded, in the second inning. So he goes from pitching with a 2-run lead, a possibility of 1 hit tying the ball game, to now pitching with an 11-run lead. So you have quite a contrast in the types of pitching that he's had to do in just 5 innings of baseball.
Mike gets a strike. He's 6 wins, 7 losses coming into tonight, and it's not unreasonable to think that he could reel off something like 9 victories out of 11 starts. I mean, he is that kind of a pitcher when he gets it going.
He did something.
Go ahead.
He's just throwing a forkball on that pitch. So important to try to stay in your same game. And Jimmy might have called one pitch. He shook him off and threw the forkball.
High drive, deep right center field. Jose Canseco and Dave Henderson are going back. It's going to be Hindu. He's got it. So we go to the 6th inning. The Athletics are leading the Indians 11-0.
This is where the legend began, at places like Santa Cruz, Monterey, and Ocean Beach, with guys who'd been to Colorado and discovered the beer made with pure Rocky Mountain spring water, a beer you couldn't get most places. Word spread and the legend grew. Today, people are thirsty for a lighter, more refreshing premium beer. Funny how the one they're looking for is the one that's been there all along. Original Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
Can you pass the Great America History Test? If you miss even one, you need a refresher course.
See Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live at Great America, July 8th through the 13th, free with park admission.
Daddy, what do operating engineers do?
Well, right over here.
We play in the dirt like you do.
Operating Engineers Local 3, building a better future for you.
Oakland A's baseball is brought to you in part by your 22 Greater Bay Area Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
National League scoreboard, Houston and Montreal tied at 1 apiece. The runs coming on home runs, Houston Stubbs and Montreal Walker. Darwin against Boyd. Cincinnati 3-0 over Philadelphia. Larkin and Hal Morris have homered for Cincinnati. Danny Jackson against De Jesus. Atlanta 2-1 over New York. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cone against Avery. Other 3 ball games: St. Louis at San Diego, Pittsburgh at Los Angeles, Chicago at San Francisco. A little later starts.
Here's Lansford.
11-0.
There's a liner right back to the mound, and Kaiser got that one right in the middle of his follow-through.
Carney once again hitting the ball hard. The Atom balls. He has probably hit a good half dozen on his trip so far that have been hit right at somebody for outs.
Over Milwaukee at one at second base and one at the shortstop, both just screaming liners, and they had to jump for both of them. Jose takes a strike. He's hit a home run here tonight and a single. It's 2 for 3 in the game.
Pass along happy birthday wishes a couple of the A's players, Willie Randolph and Todd Burns, celebrating their birthdays today.
Jose had one while since we've been gone too. Right. July 1st, was it? Something like that.
I think that was right.
26 years old. He and the twin brother.
July the 2nd.
July 2nd. Right off the fist to the shortstop. Sort of jamming yourself on that one.
Oh, it just gets in on him. Tries to swing and just can't get the bat head through. And that's the thin part of the handle. But it's amazing. You see how quick he is going through it, but ball going nowhere.
Mark McGwire, 2 home runs tonight. Takes a strike. Kind of fought that one off. It's 0-2.
It's not surprising to see Mark McGwire hit a couple of home runs. He has hit a few here in just a short time. The big one against Doug Jones, the last ball game here in the first trip in. Hit it off him in the 9th inning. A 2-run shot off of the McDonald's sign up in the upper deck in left field.
The Big Mac hit to Big Mac,
yes,
huh?
He did.
And Jones had a string of consecutive saves, not blown, too, going into that game. Pop that one up. Well, Maldonado let the second baseman Brown take that one all the way. So we go to the last half of the 6th, 11-0 Oakland.
Sunnyvale Ford and Landmark Van Conversions announced the grand opening of the Sunnyvale Ford Van Conversion Center. For the next 10 days, you can speak to a factory representative and buy like a dealer at factory direct discount prices. Save up to $9,000 on a Landmark Van conversion. Choose from 25 from only $299 per month after $700 factory rebate. Plus, get free passes to the Santa Cruz Boardwalk with a test drive. While they last, get grand opening factory direct prices for a limited time. Only at Sunnyvale Ford Van Conversion Center. Hit the freeway to Sunnyvale and buy like you've never bought before.
It's the friendliest territory there is. First Interstate Bank territory, where thousands of people are ready to help you with your banking needs. Because only First Interstate has offices in more cities and states than any other bank system. So whether you're in your hometown or traveling out of town, come to First Interstate Bank and discover how nice it is to have a bank that can go the extra mile for you.
Flying to Burbank or San Diego for business? If these 17 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines to San Diego or Burbank, maybe this will. Fly Southwest Airlines. You'll save a lot of money.
On Monday, July 30th, the A's host the Seattle Mariners of Jim Lefevre, one of the surprising teams in baseball, and all tickets with the exception of bleacher seats will be offered at half price as part of the Alameda newspaper group's half price night at the Coliseum in Oakland. A great opportunity for you to come out, and I'd suggest you get those tickets early. You can call tonight, as a matter of fact. Ticket offices are open by phone at any of those Bass numbers you see, and make sure you have them in advance. As Ray mentioned, all the weekends are getting tougher and tougher to get there. The young guys right behind the dugout have been conversing with Ricky Henderson all night long. He might have given him a broken bat or something.
Steve Howard, the new left fielder. Speaking of Ricky, his day is finished.
Maierga takes low. It is 2 balls and 1 strike. Mike Moore has given only 2 hits. Yeah, we'd remind you that the best way to get tickets for any of the A's games, call the Bass numbers and you can get them in advance. If you wait very long, you'll miss a lot of the A's games. There's a drive into deep center field. Henderson runs it down, turns around, and right there she comes. He's got it. That's Jose, I'm sorry. He's got the last 3 balls in a row. Brings on Candy Maldonado. Well, he's had sort of a resurrected life in baseball here in this town, Ray. He's having a good year. He's got 13 home runs. He's found a place that likes him, and he likes it.
Yeah, Jose Morales, the hitting coach under John McNamara, was with Candy over in San Francisco, and he has helped him tremendously. Got off to an excellent start. He's getting a chance to play every day, and that's something that every player hopes to be able to do.
Four RBIs in less than half a season. He's getting what they wanted from him. Oh man, that's a high bouncer. Carney Lansford going to have to gun this one. He did. What a play by Captain Carney. I'd imagine he got a sore arm after that throw.
I didn't think there was any chance that Maldonado was not going to be on safe at first base, but Lansford, I think Carney just threw it as hard as he could throw it. And a good stretch by Mark. And John Hirschbeck making the call.
That ball bounced a good 20-25 feet in the air and deep to third. So it brings on Chris James, who's walked twice in this ball game. Some of you may have joined us late and have not heard yet, but the A's did lose the first game tonight, 6-1. Greg Swindell of the Indians defeated Scott Sanderson of the A's. The Indians got all 6 of their runs in 1 inning, and that's the only scoring they have done tonight. In 14 innings now, they have played in this game and scored in only 1 of them, but they got 6 runs in that 1 inning. Jamie got out of there. You don't have to dig those out. Forget it.
Well, especially you don't have 2 strikes on the hitter. Not a runner on base. And fortunately, Greg Kosk was on the other side of him as he bailed out.
Drive to left. Howard there makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. So we go to the 7th inning. The Athletics are leading 11-0.
When we get together for an ice cold cerveza, Coors Light is the right beer now.
Excuse me, what's the first word that comes to mind when I say ham and turkey melt? Double fudge cake? Ham and turkey melting with cheddar and Swiss on golden grilled sourdough? What do you think of? Double fudge cake. Not a bad thought, because now at Jack in the Box, you can get a free piece of double fudge cake. Just buy a ham and turkey melt, regular fries, and a regular Coke, and our delicious double fudge cake's free. Now, what do you say to that? Ham and turkey melt.
It just died, just out.
The equipment wasn't working, switch wasn't working.
You name it, it doesn't do it. And I'm getting to know repair people actually on a first-name basis.
The guy didn't know what he was doing.
It's ridiculous, I'm telling you.
We pay a lot of money for maintenance contracts on all these systems.
But you live and learn, unfortunately. We have Centrex system, and it's not been down once in 4.5 years.
Packbell maintains all of that for us.
They take care of it right in their office. Once I plug the phone in, that's it.
It's easy.
Call Packbell.
Absolutely.
It's a tough half of the 7th inning. The A's designated hitter, Dave Henderson, is at the plate. He has struck out twice and walked in this game. Curve is low for a ball. Jeff Kaiser on the mound. He is the third Indian pitcher. Valdez threw 4 home run balls in 2 1/3 innings. Dude fouls it off. Quante threw 3 homers and Valdez 4.
You know, 7 home runs tonight. You get the home run trots. Remember the home run that Bo Jackson hit, the inside the park home run at Kansas City?
Yeah.
You were there.
Did he flip up at the end, pop up?
Mel Hall hit one recently. All right, it's been a little while ago, I guess, against the Minnesota Twins at the Metrodome.
Right off the chest of the third baseman of the shortstop. Viaga must have a strong chest when that ball bounced 25 feet to his left.
And he was playing deep also, almost on the outfield grass. And he gets an error after taking one off the chest. But Mel Hall, when he hit the home run at the Metrodome, he took, I can't remember exactly how long it took, but when we got to the ballpark this afternoon, ESPN had their baseball magazine on, and they did something which was rather interesting. They had Mel Hall going around the bases, and they timed it. And then they took Bo Jackson in a split screen. Bo, starting from home plate, he lapped him. He went around twice before Mel Hall was able to get to home plate. That's how slow he went and how fast Bo was running, because Bo's was an inside the park home run. But I think Mel Hall had to take at least a couple of minutes, as slow as he ran.
We heard about that one somewhere. I forget where it was. We went. Somebody was telling us about it.
And he got knocked down the next time up, too.
Felix Jose takes a curve for a strike. Felix tonight's had a couple of base hits. Played well in center field. He's played all 3 outfield positions for the A's and played them well. Batting a very respectable .251 with 4 homers. Foul ball. I don't know if he'll bat with that bat anymore. That one is really broken. You can hear that sound. Well, he was batting with a black bat, and they're bringing a white one out to him. Think that makes any difference?
Well, it just depends if it has his name on it or not. Maybe he was using somebody else's bat. Now he has to use his own. It's amazing, hitters who have such a great swing that they never get jammed, never hit the ball off the end of the bat. They have just about 5 or 6 inches where they hit the ball consistently.
And Barriga's got a strong arm. He whizzed that thing over from deep third base. Henderson goes to second. Jose is out at first. Up comes Jamie Quirk. He's had a 2-run homer and a 1-run single tonight. He's 2 for 3. We were talking to Dave Stewart on the bus before everybody got on tonight, coming to the ballpark, and asking him how he's feeling, and we were talking about that outing that he had in Milwaukee after the no-hitter first time out, and he said, boy, said, I thought I felt pretty good warming up, but not real good. He said, I just kind of tired. He said the longer he stayed out there, and it wasn't very long, he said he really realized how tired he was. Mentally fatigued and so forth, everything that came along with that no-hitter. And you look back, Ray, over the years, the guys who pitch no-hitters who come back and have a good game after that, very few do. Remember Catfish Hunter, after he pitched his perfect game, the next time out threw 3 or 4 home runs against the Minnesota Twins. Same team he had pitched the perfect game against. Good fastball from Kaiser. Quirk missed it. Strike 2. 0-2.
Remember Dennis Eckersley when he pitched his no-hitter in '77. His next start was in Seattle, and he had a streak of about 19 or 20 scoreless innings. The no-hitter plus previous start in which he went 4 or 5 innings. He pitched an excellent ball game. Rupert Jones hit him for a home run to break his string of scoreless innings.
Remember reading about that string. Outside.
Scoreless. It was hitless. I'm sorry. It was hitless, actually, not scoreless. Scoreless plus the hitless.
We're in the 7th inning. The A's had 7 home runs in this game by the end of the 5th. Jamie Quirk bombs another one out into short left. He's going to have another hit and another RBI. Now Jamie's pulling them out of the hat here tonight.
Well, he set him up. He pulled the home run to right field, and the next 2 shots have been hit to left field off the left-hander, and plays perfectly. And the error so far has cost a run. The error to Baerga. Dave Henderson doing a good job running on that ball because it was not hit that hard, but he could see where the left fielder was playing, Jefferson, and how far Baerga had to go out, so he was able to score easily.
Wald Weiss without a hit tonight. Takes outside for a ball. He's the only player in the lineup so far without a hit except Dave Henderson, and Hindu's been on a couple of times. There's that curveball that Walt's been taking tonight, and it's a strike. That batting average right there is not right. It's at 286. He dropped down to 275 as of tonight, as of this at bat. Two and 2 count. Kurt Young tomorrow night, and we'll be on the air on the A's television network again beginning at 4 o'clock West Coast time. Bud Black, he's having a pretty good year, Ray, and he was out disabled for a while, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. But all the left-handed pitchers the A's are seeing.
Amazing.
Yes. Three in the Toronto series, 2 in the Milwaukee series. That's one down in the first game, and Black tomorrow night.
Usually the A's see left-handers and go yum yum. They've seen not only left-handers but good left-handers on this trip. That's strike 3. 2 down now in the 7th. He must have a good curveball, Ray, because he's throwing it a high percentage of times, even to these right-handed hitters.
There's a sharp bite to it right at the end. Floats in, they commit, and all of a sudden it bites quickly. And the thing about it, he's throwing for strikes as well as throwing it with a bite to it.
There it is right there. Sort of bites off part of the inside, but it's too low. It's 1 ball, no strikes to Gallego.
As great as Ricky was swinging tonight, that's the pitch he struck him out on. But he had a good swing 0-2. The slider from Guante after seeing 2 good sliders and the one that hung for the home run.
That's all for the A's here in the 7th. They got a run on a hit and an error, and it is now 12-0 Oakland.
Play Taste of 7-Eleven and picture yourself getting your next super big gulp from a 7-Eleven in historic London, spectacular Sydney, enchanting Madrid, and other great cities. Everyone can win every time. Just buy a big bite, big gulp, or super big gulp. Peel the game piece and instantly win free food, discounts, exciting trips, transportation by United Airlines. So play Taste of 7-Eleven today. And don't forget to write.
On the air with Dodge Country's used car and truck auto mart.
For under $29.99 and only $99 down and $99 per month. Like this 83 Dodge Rampage pickup, or this 85 Ford Tempo, or how about this 86 Dodge Aries? Your choice for under $29.99 and only $99 down and $99 per month.
Dodge Country's used car and truck auto mart, 1050 West Capitol Expressway in San Jose.
Never know when the Joker will pop up in Joker's Wild, the California Lottery's new scratcher game, where you could win a trip to the big spin instantly.
Well, the annual A's Men's Warehouse Zoo Night is coming up on Tuesday, July 24th at the Coliseum. The A's play the California Angels. Regularly priced $7 upper reserve tickets will be only $3 when purchased at a Men's Warehouse store or at the Oakland Zoo. Proceeds from that event will build a new home for the Lions at the Oakland Zoo. So pick up your tickets before July 16th at one of the Bay Area Men's Warehouse stores or the Oakland Zoo. It'll be a big night. The Lions will thank you. Here is Brooke Jacoby. Third baseman hit a 2-run homer in the first game for the Indians. Ray, you know that job of the manager picking the alternates for the All-Star game every year. You make friends some places and enemies everywhere else. You cannot be a winner in choosing that alternate group here in Cleveland. They were on Tony La Russa, but he did pick an Indian. He picked 2 of them here.
Doug Jones, the reliever out of the bullpen. But I tell you, the guy that had some class is this guy right there, Brooke Jacoby. Had some good numbers, and he said, hey, I didn't expect to. I didn't get it. He said, I would rather put the numbers up for my team and help the team win. Yeah. He said, if I make it, fine. He says, I'll enjoy the time with the family.
Well, there was some pretty good competition for third base this year. Here's Felix Fermin. Now the pitch off. Of course, down in Texas, they were hoping Nolan Ryan would be selected because of what he had done against the A's, pitching a no-hitter. He didn't get in.
Dave Stewart pitched a no-hitter. He didn't make it.
Bodeker's won 10 games in a row, and he wasn't selected. Strike call. But I thought it's good for one guy particularly, and that's from Toronto, Dave Steve. He had been bombed his last 2 outings, and one of them by the A's. Didn't even get out of the first or second innings in 2 of those games in a row. But he had had 10 wins already prior to that, and had been really outstanding against the A's in one of the games in Oakland. shutting him out, and he was selected.
Just happened to see the USA Today with the bonuses that the players get.
Yeah.
Wade Boggs on the cover.
Yeah.
Talking about his bonus. Came over the wire tonight. Wire service. Said Boggs thought he only had a $50,000 bonus. Read in the papers $100,000.
Oh my goodness.
Talked to Lou Gorman. Found out he didn't have any.
Oh.
Said in the last negotiations they took out all the bonuses, everything. So here he got front cover or front page on the USA Today and ended up no bonus.
Curveball line to left field. There was your classic hanging curve right there. That's the first hit for the Indians since the third inning. So many of those guys get bonuses now for making the All-Star team. It's just part of the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, why call it a bonus? Joel Skinner has walked in line to left. Here's the backstop for the wild pitch.
Well, that time Jamie had to try to block that one with the runner on base, but still couldn't get to it as it bounced about 3 feet in front of him. I don't know if it's the fork ball or the curve ball. I think maybe the fork ball that just got away.
With a 12-0 lead, Ford experiment a little bit. He's not really had that good fork ball this year that he had last year for some reason. And he needs to find that. It's a big pitch for him. $45,705 here in Cleveland tonight. They've had the largest single night crowd of the season in Major League Baseball this year here, 68,000 plus. Three and one. Big hop up. Gallego knocked it down. Couldn't make a play. I thought he had a break there for a minute because the ball hit the mound and bounced up in the air. If it stayed on the ground, Mike wouldn't have a chance.
And I think if he catches the ball, he's going to get up and throw Skinner out. But once he hit the ground, it popped out. I saw that earlier with Burbine, the ball bouncing up to him. He got the out.
So there's one out. Runners first and third. Here's Stanley Jefferson. He's had a hard time throwing strikes to him tonight, but he threw one he had to throw in the second inning. Bases loaded. Threw a 3-1 and then a 3-2 to get him.
Joe Klink up to throw in the A's bullpen. Pitch count, Mike Moore, just over 100 pitches, 101 on the night. So it's coming back on 3 days rest, as we talked earlier. This will be his last start before the All-Star game.
Missed again, ball 3. He walked this guy the last time up. Almost did the first time, but just something about this particular hitter he's not able to throw strikes to. Got that one over.
But he has good speed. Possibly will be tough to double up if he hits the ball, unless he hits the ball hard right at somebody.
Into left field. Fermin is tagging. Howard's got a good arm. He's throwing it to the cutoff man. A run scored. That's the first run of the game for the Indians. So it's 12-1 now. Dave Stewart gets his